Hey, Bouquets, it's your favorite girl, April Watts. Welcome to Ego. That's Everybody's Got One, a show about opinions. I know you're used to the theme song and all the lights, the camera, the action, and all of that great stuff. But you know what? Today, the theme song is going to be Where My Girls At, from the front to back, because I got an all-female panel. We have 4 powerful, dynamic women, and we're talking about something that everybody, especially every man, wants to know. Today's topic is, what do women want? Like, what do we really want? Not what you think we want, but what we want. So we're going to start with my girl, April. We have April J here. Tell everybody from the Ego audience who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is April J. I own my own media company, WPB Media Networks. I also have a show, Women's Talk Live.
Yes.
And I also have many other shows, Walked Into a Bar, Livewire Podcast, The Plug. And just recently, well, the past 2 years, I've been on the CW in Charlotte and New Orleans and Miami. So
many you got to count them.
Which one is it? Yeah, it is. But you know, it's been a long journey. It's been 10 years in media. So I'm learning as I go.
Well, it is such a pleasure to have you here. You are a trailblazer. You were doing the whole internet. And a friend to me, and so it's just a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We have my girl Kendell Renee Kelly. How are you, Bouquets?
I am doing well.
All right, tell everybody who you are and what you do, which is a myriad of things.
Right. I was like, oh Lord, how do I do this? By profession, I am an intellectual property and entertainment lawyer. I have taken that and done reality TV. I do some of the talking head stuff, you know, with commentary and giving my opinion. This one is a personal favorite for me, though, because this is intimate and close to my heart, because I am a single woman who has foster daughters and who has eggs she has to use. So all of these things are relevant to what women want. Women want to use their eggs. But no, that part is the primary focus of my life. I think we have some things we always have to split our time. Beyond that, I'm an entrepreneur. These face shields are one of the things, protect to serve, which is always something that's happening for me. I think as a attorney, as a business woman, I always have to do something. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching to my clients. I'm telling them all the things that I'm doing, not just the things I would have them to do, but with experience.
All righty. And let's go to Zoom. We have my girl Ronda Brunson, a.k.a. the Credit Queen, coming to us from Miami. How are you, Ronda?
Well, how are you?
Fantastic. Can you tell everybody what you do?
Well, my name is Rhonda, but they call me the Credit Queen. For the last 16 years, I've been preaching and teaching the credit gospel to all who listen.
I love it, the credit gospel. And last but not least, my girl. This is my homie. She is coming to us from LA. My girl, comedian Courtney Black.
What's up, April?
What's up, Bouquet?
Thanks for having me. I'm Courtney Black, like you said, stand-up comedian, registered voter, HBCU grad. What's up? No. But I'm also co-host on Cheryl Underwood Radio. You can check me out Monday through Friday, and we have some weekend shows also. I'm a writer. I just got hired to write this script on the first Black woman who rode a motorcycle across the country in 1930.
Love it.
So, yeah, just doing stuff like that, creative.
All right, so there you have it. You have 4 dynamic women in various industries doing different things at the top of their game, and we're going to talk about what women want. So ladies, before we talk about the what, let's talk about the why. Like in 2020, where you have financial independence, you have women like ourselves who are getting it, and you have that meeting technology, and basically everything we want is a click away on our phones. Literally everything, okay? So if we want to click to a man, to a good time, we can click to that as well. So in 2020, being who we are and how we are, why are long-term committed relationships still relevant or still important to you?
I'm old school, so it just feels good, first of all, to the soul. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Even though my parents didn't stay together, honey, that's still what we brought up. It's nice to have somebody to be grounded with, to go through things with, someone that you can totally be vulnerable and open to, that you may not show the world, because men go through a lot, but women go through a lot also out there, as we pave the pavement, as you said, making our name out here, you know? So it's nice to just come home and be yourself 100% sometimes. I haven't had it, so where you at, baby?
I know that's right. Anybody else want to take a crack at it?
I'm a little different because I was married for 17 years and recently divorced. So, my kids are older. I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old. So I'm at a point right now where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be by myself. I haven't been by myself since I was 24 years old.
Right.
So, it's a little new for me. I am, I'm not closed off to a relationship. I still want a relationship, even though I kind of keep my personal life very private.
Yes.
But as for now, I'm really enjoying my next phase.
You're having fun
in life. Yes,
and that's okay.
You're right. So even though I'm not closed off to it, it's not something that I am seeking. So
I like that.
I think for me, it's also a part of this growth process as well. I know that I won't pick a partner that I can't learn from, that I'm not having similar goals with, that we're not planning to achieve things together that make sense for legacy and make sense for purpose and all those different things. So having that in-house is important for me. You know what I mean? I need the person that can be like, oh, okay, everything went to crap today, but tomorrow's going to be better. Right. And I can do the same thing. There's the part of me that needs that for process. And then so my nurturing, part of my purpose is actually, realized. Because if not, I'm like, okay, I can take care of my dog. I have a wonderful pit bull. Yes. He's great, but he doesn't really need me to cook dinner. He doesn't want me to do these other things that are just part of my makeup, just part of who I am. I want that in my house. I want that as part of my life. And I know the growth that comes with it. So,
Rhonda, you want to take a crack at it?
I definitely would add, it's a different, I learned a different Rhonda when I'm in a relationship. I think that because of what I do, I'm in control of everybody's everything. But in relationships, especially if they're the alpha male, it's good to let them be in control. So I learned a different me, usually when I'm dating someone seriously. And I do like the way that feels to relinquish some of that control.
That's true, Rhonda. Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
For me personally, business is also personal. So I definitely know that I want a person that I can do business with. We don't have to do the same business. Like, he doesn't have to be in the same industry as me, but our businesses have to complement each other. So literally, because I am ambitious and because I have goals, I want somebody that I can take over the world with. Straight like that, But I also want the friend, I want the lover, I want all of that. But I want, I don't want to do this by myself.
No.
Now, let's go to masculinity, which is a broad stroke there. What qualities of masculinity are important to you in dating and relationships?
I know for me, growing up, in a family where the man was the man and you let the man be the man, I think that's what I look for. I want somebody to be the man, and I don't mind taking a step back. I don't mind, him saying, no, we're not going to do this or whatever. I'm okay with that. Even though, because in the business that I'm in, I have to be forceful. I have to be, So sometimes, I want that, okay, let's do this, let's do that. I want somebody that can take a little bit of that control.
And before the next person takes a crack at it, the phone lines are working right now, so we want you to call in and join in the conversation, whether you're a man that has a question or a comment, whether you're a woman who wants to chime in and hit us with the yes, girl, whatever it is, you can call us at 410-822-3733. That's 410-822-3733 or 410-822-FREE. That's FREE. So back again, we're talking about what qualities of masculinity do you look for or what's important to you in dating and relationships?
I think the most masculine quality is the ability to be honest. Ooh. So, I am looking for a man who is mature enough to say exactly what it is that they feel.
Yes.
Right? Because I think women are a lot more resilient than we're given credit for.
Oh, we are.
And we're able to handle either circumstances or outside of societal, whatever it is, if we're given the tools to be able to do it, which means that we have to be able to discuss it. So that's what turns me on immediately. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't have to ask, beg, wonder, question. You just told me what was going on. Okay, cool. We can do this. Because I know that is that you can get through anything. Like you can absolutely, like with some honesty and like actually being able to have a full-fledged conversation with the person that wants to have it. Mm-hmm. What's really going to be a problem? Like the worst that could be is a no. Like I don't like that. I don't want to do that. You go on your own. Like okay, cool. Like
right.
Right.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that I would add, because you're saying honesty and communication, and then I would also add consistency.
Ooh, yes.
So if men understand how important it is to do the same things you did on day 1 and day 121, because that's who you sold us on. So if you can just be that consistent person, that's all I ask. Even if it's terrible, as we say in Baltimore, that's cool, because at least then I'll understand and know what to expect of you from day 1, and it doesn't change. But I love anyone that's consistent.
I agree with those, and I'm gonna piggyback. Ronda said the operative word earlier, alpha male. You gotta be an all man. I need that. I don't need you, shaving your chest all super thin and your eyebrows, and like, I need a super alpha male. And being assertive is it's a turn on for me. An assertive man who has an idea of where he's going. You may not be here yet, that's fine, but if you have an idea and you have this destination and this drive to get there, that drive is so super sexy to me.
Yes.
So I need a man to be assertive and want more.
I agree with everything you ladies said. And to add to that, this one is so very important to me because I run into the opposite so much. Accountability. I think accountability is one of the most masculine traits that a man can have, because I think that society kind of like makes men narcissistic by default, because everything in society is centered around men, and it's to the point where they don't have to take accountability for anything. So when a man is able to be accountable without me having to say, no, look, you did that, you need to own that. When he owns his stuff, that is the hugest turn on for me.
Yeah.
And April, what they don't realize is once they go ahead and be accountable, like there's no more conversation. Like,
Exactly.
It's over.
Right.
Right. Like
Right.
if you really want me to be quiet, be accountable, and I'm just gonna be like, boo, you got it.
Right.
Having nothing else to say
Okay.
at that point.
All right. See what happens when stuff is live. All right. So we have to talk about the elephant in the room, because I know that a lot of men definitely want to know this. How important is finances for you in dating and relationships? Does the man have to have it all the way together? Does he have to make a certain amount of money? Does he have to have a certain career? Does he have to have a certain credit score? Be honest and break it all the way down.
Okay, I'll start. I do it. I'm like, hey, I'll take the pill. It's important to me. That's one of, and I probably will get to this at some point, but I'm very discreet and limited in what has to be my foundational elements in my relationship. I only have 4 of them, but that is one. Financial security and business acumen, because you can have money and lose it if you don't know what the heck you're doing with it. So those two have to go together for me, but that's also part and parcel to the fact that I'm an entrepreneur. So I might do some crazy stuff. Somebody's going to take care of these kids. Like that could happen. But then also I'm used to and have worked really hard to be able to live the life that I do. Like I gave up a whole lot. So I don't want to give up a whole lot going forward. And not even just to lose it, but like it's time to have some fun. Like you go to school for as long as I did. You want to go now? Let's go kick it. Like let's go do some things. Let's work and work
like
hard.
57 degrees. How many degrees do you have? Girl,
3.
Break it all the way down.
Just 3 right now. Just 3.
Okay.
I won't say I'm considering some other things, but that's okay. That's I like to learn.
Yes.
So those things, there has to be some level of balance. There has to be some level of understanding, but I'm able at this point to admit it. I couldn't admit that in my 20s. In my 20s, even knowing exactly the path I wanted to take, I bought my first house at 22 years old.
Okay.
So if that is the case, and I'm still not able at that point to say, okay, so I know I'm going to need a partner who's able to work with me, but at the same time, don't get it twisted. At 30, well, I don't know what the age I was. The second one, 24, had a whole thing. I was dating real estate developers and lost a property. Never ever should that be the case, because that goes back to your whole support thing and all of these different things.
Yeah.
But knowing that, that's where I know it has to be important for me. Like that business acumen, that financial security, I shouldn't have had that be an issue. That shouldn't have been the case. I was dealing with people that I should not have been. They weren't complementary to me and could not have been long-term partners because my 4 basic ass foundational elements weren't going to be met.
Anybody else? Finances?
I own 3 financial firms. I am a 6-figure income earner in at least 2. I don't value money the same because I got it. Now, I want a man who comes in and still does man things and doesn't use or abuse me financially because of what I have.
Okay.
And I think that women who are successful usually run into that type of man. It's always something that they need, that they want, that we can take care of, but we don't often see the reciprocation of it. So I need him to be financially stable for him. I don't need him to be financially stable for me. I got to go.
All right.
Yes, I like your finances to be in order. I like you to be up on your credit. That shows that you're a responsible adult. But it's all relative to age and where you are at life. You know, I used to say, even like back when I was in college or whatever, 20s, throughout my life, I think my rule has been, you got to be where I'm at. So if I have roommates, then you can have roommates. But if I ain't got no roommates, boo, you can't have roommates. That's the lowest I'm gonna go. You gotta at least do what I'm doing. So, with that being said, at this age, yes, I can't date anybody who's even on my level. No, because I'm in LA, y'all. This shit is expensive. You need to be above.
Okay, Court.
But
what about you, April?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Wow. So with me, I can take care of myself. I've been taking care of myself since I was 16 years old. I've been on my own since I was 16. So I have 2 daughters I'm putting through college by myself. So, you know, for me, I don't need a man to come in and take care of me. I really don't. I would want them to come in and be able to hold their own. I want them to be able to come in and be able to say, okay, I can take it. I don't need somebody to come in, oh, I can do this and that. That's fine. If you want to contribute, I ain't gonna turn it down. But in the same sense, you know, it's not something that I need. You know, because I've been taught to take care of what I need to take care of. So, but you know, I do want you to not come in and where I gotta take care of you because I ain't taking care of no grown man. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that.
I cannot do struggle love, and I will say that unabashedly because I feel like society makes only Black women feel that, you know, we have to struggle and deal with certain things to deserve the love, whereas other women can have expectations and have standards that are also financial standards. But the moment that a Black woman has those same standards, we're looked at as gold diggers. Like, one, I don't need to dig for any gold because I am the gold. That's the way I view myself. Number one, I come from a line of fiercely independent women where I'm not looking for anybody to take care of me financially, but I do want a man that is established financially. I don't want us to have to save up to go on a vacation. Like, if we feel like jumping on a plane and going somewhere, let's go. You know what I'm saying? If something happens to where he has a struggle or a hard time, I'm going to be there. But if I see the struggle immediately walking into it, I'm not going to sign up for the struggle. And I don't feel bad about that. I don't feel bad about that whatsoever. So.
And I think security. We all deserve security.
We all deserve security.
You said something about how society is different when it comes to Black women having expectations, but don't you feel some of that has to do with how we present it? If we're making songs like WAP and things like that, which I do like the beat, I'm just saying. If we start adding or creating these scenarios where we are worth money only, I think that's what warps societies and men's views. So now when they see Black women, they assume that we have that mentality, or we all listen to that or all buy into those ideas, when that may not be so.
I disagree with that because I feel like WAP basically is a reflection of images that have been superimposed onto black women. I don't believe black women started that. I believe that people overall, like not just black men, but society as a whole devalues black women. And so what you're seeing in the music is a reflection of the times. That's the way I feel.
And I remember my cousin went to school back in the day, a long time ago, to a white school in Ohio, and she told me that the girls there, they would say, I'm here to get my MRS degree, my Mrs. degree, meaning you there to marry a doctor, a lawyer, somebody to, security.
Exactly.
And Caucasian women raise their daughters to marry for security, and there is nothing seen wrong with that. And we don't. We have a little stigma about it, as you said, April.
Right, and we're held to a higher standard. And with me having daughters, I let them know off the bat. Listen, you can be self-sufficient, and you don't have to be succumb to what society wants you to be. You can be whoever the hell you want to be, and nobody should be able to tell you otherwise. So I think as society, they hold us to different standards, because if you look at a white woman that would have done what? Would we be?
It would have been okay.
It would have been the same thing.
It would have been okay, and it would have blown up, and there would have been no pushback whatsoever. There would have been no fallout from it. But just the violence and the anger and the negativity around that one song was so crazy to me, and it was because it was black women who made the song.
Right.
Also, I just feel like I love myself, and I treat myself very well. And so I feel that the way I treat myself is me showing men the way I want to be treated. And once again, it's not materialistic all the time, and it's not gold diggerish, but I buy myself flowers all the time. So if we're dating and you walk into my house and you see fresh flowers, then you should kind of pick up on that cue. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you, buy me flowers. You know what I'm saying? All right, so as strong women who are independent, who are doing everything for ourselves, I think that at our core, most women still want to feel safe and protected with a man. What makes you feel safe and protected in dating and relationships?
Back to what someone said, consistency. You know,
definitely
showing that you care. I know, your man, if we want the kind of men we want, they busy too. But showing a little extra effort, a little attention, a little surprise that he heard something that you said, whether you threw a flower in a conversation or they didn't have something at the store in conversation and then he pops up with it. Just nice little gestures. I love a nice little considerate gestures.
Right. Yeah, I think with me, it's the little things for me. You just picking up the phone saying, hey, I was thinking about you, or, just little things like that. I don't need a whole lot, just to show that you have some type of, that you do care, like Courtney was saying, that you are considerate, consistent, show a little, loving.
Yeah.
For me, that's, then I feel like I can be vulnerable with you.
Same. I think it's a matter of feeling that you matter. Right, that you are not just there when, needed, but also wanted. And so, that can be making sure that I forget to eat. So asking, like, did you eat? That's important for me. Right. And sometimes when I say no, like, oh, okay, somebody's supposed to be at your door delivering some food. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm cool, because then I can go back to whatever I was doing. I know that was small gesture, but I was thought of. What was important, my welfare was even thought of, and that's important. So I feel supported, I feel protected, I feel that that's a way of demonstrating care. Even as Courtney said, this is dating people who are busy, dating people who have lives, and respecting that and understanding that. But it's a little thing.
For me, a man who makes good decisions, he doesn't have to be perfect, because Lord knows, I have made some bad decisions in my life. So he doesn't have to be perfect, but just generally speaking, it has to be a man that is wise and a man that makes good decisions, because if we're in this together and you're always making choices that put us in a hole, then I'm not going to feel safe and I'm not going to feel protected. And I just do have to take it to a physical level too. Like, I need to be with the man. I don't want to feel like I'm going to fight before you fight.
Well,
And it's not that I want somebody like a street dude or a thug or something like that, but I just need to know that if we're out and about and something, God forbid, something should happen, that you have the ability to physically protect me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it just
That's
me?
true.
No.
Absolutely.
When you asked the question, I thought it was a physical thing. So I was like, man, my ghetto brought him to mind. Because I thought
You good.
I mean, and it's hard. I can answer physical stuff. I mean, the actual, of course, shape of the man, you don't want to underestimate or overestimate. But size of a guy lets me know about physical safety. And then watching how he conducts himself. I don't like to push over. I am an alpha female. So I can't deal with a guy that allows people to talk to him any kind of way. One of the issues in my current situation is that I'm always ready to pop off because I feel like somebody's being disrespectful all the time. But down here, the culture is so different and laid back. They're just talking, and I'm like, "What you say?" So I need someone that can come in and say, "Hey, calm down, give it a second, let's see what's going on." Like that, they can mediate those type of things as well, but at the same time, gives me space to respond when necessary.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect time to go to break. In the meantime, make sure that you take this number down, 410-822-3733. We want you to call in. We want you to be a part of the conversation. I have 4 dynamic women on this panel, 4 beautiful women on this panel. We have April J., my girl, Kendell Renee Kelly. We have Ronda Brunson, a.k.a. the Credit Queen. And we have my girl, Courtney Black. We'll be back at you in just a few. But first, this message from our sponsor. We got the music now. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 we got the music back. We're so excited. Welcome back to the second portion of Ego. Everybody's Got One, the podcast about opinions. And if you're just tuning in, my name is April Watts. I'm your host. Joining me, we have April J., we have Kendell Renee Kelly, and via Zoom, we have Ronda Brunson, a.k.a. the Credit Queen, and my girl, Courtney Black, coming at you from Los Angeles, California. Today, I have an all-woman panel because we are talking about what women want. And who better to tell you what women want than women, right? And I do want to once again thank our sponsor, Safari Nightclub. They're located at 5625 O'Donnell Street, and we're about to be back open. Sexy Saturdays is about to be back on deck. Okay, so I will be your host, DJ Biscuit, the DJ. Also, we want to make sure that you don't forget to support the Baltimore Comedy Factory. They will be opening as well October 31st with Bill Bellamy. Support those who support us. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. And speaking of nuts and crazy, okay, I want to piggyback on something that Ronda was talking about appearance or whatever. You can't really judge a book by its cover. I'm sure all of us have dated a guy that in the beginning, he had all the check marks and he seemed like the one. He seemed perfect. He seemed like he had it all together and he turned out to be some boo-boo, right? Okay, so I want to know if you've ever experienced the reverse. Has there ever been a guy that didn't impress you too much, or you underestimated, or maybe even thought less of him, and then he turned out to be more than what you anticipated?
Man, those are the ones that keep avoiding in my DMs. I don't know. You know, women, we are so visual, and then once our mind is made up that we don't look at a person that way, once they've been friend zoned, that's it. I don't know. I need to be more open. I will be more open moving forward. I can't say I had no testimony like that since. No.
Yeah, honey, I was just talking about this with my girlfriend last night. She's on a dating app, and I was on there before too, but she was like, I'm trying to, get out the box, and I tried this guy. It's weird because he doesn't have a bachelor's, or she was like, he doesn't, like something else, you know what I mean? Like, and I said, yeah, girl, well, go ahead. I mean, like, you do have to, sometimes you're right, it might be a diamond in the rough, but sometimes it's just hard to get over some stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I like a good suit, honey, if you ain't got a good suit on.
Every time I have tried that, let me go and not do the pretty boy, let me go and, let me try somebody who, it doesn't work. Like, literally, April knows this. I was on a reality TV show in 2 weeks going through a breakup with someone who was not attractive in a societal norm, me still trying to be PC and nice, but you know what I'm saying? This being the case, he was someone that I was like, okay, give him a try. The ugly ones always love you more. Like, all that as a thing, no, they don't. They'll still cheat on you too. So they will cheat, prolifically.
And that's the worst, like when I feel like I've lowered my standard to a degree or stepped outside of what I know that I want just to give somebody a chance. And I'm like, this ugly Negro gonna act up. Like, you ain't even cute. You should feel this ugly and still ain't got no act right. Like, really? That's what we doing?
That's the most offensive time. When you tried something or you dealt with the person that was handicapped, he had diabetes, his thing ain't look all, and then it don't work. You know what I mean? So then he breaks up with you. The audacity.
Exactly.
I think, like I said, I was married for a long time. So when I recently got back into the dating game, I was just like, really?
Right.
Is this really?
Is this what we have to work
I
with?
was shocked. I was like, ooh, okay. So it was definitely a eye opener. It really was. And I've had some mishaps, and I had to dart away real quick. But yeah, it's oh wow,
Different.
it's very different.
Now, I will say, there are some people who have grown, like people I knew when I was younger, that now I would look at a little bit differently as adults, and that's, understanding and giving them grace. So you were a man whore at this point, but now for whatever life experience, you are a better person. I've seen it demonstrated different ways, but this isn't my relationship. These are more like my friend zone folks that I'm not talking to in my DMs like Ronda. So the same folks, like, hey, but you see the growth. I want the same level of grace, so I probably should be answering or responding or thinking about it, but it is that way. Once someone is placed into that box in our brain, and I don't think men give women enough respect for that, because they think that it's only them that it's like, oh yeah, the penis went down. Exactly. No. The Sahara will come up on you if you also right. Like what? No interest. Go away. Yeah. And it's just that it's mentally that because of whatever factor didn't work, and so there's not much changing that happens. Like.
Like Ronda, I think I need to be a little more open because people approach me or people hit my DMs and I'm like, and I've never in my life done online dating because I have a mental block about it. I just feel like I'm an energy person, so I want to meet you. I want to see you. I want to connect and be like, yeah, him. And that's my problem too, because I like what I like, and it's not always necessarily check marks on a box, or it's not necessarily he has to have this degree or that. It just has to be an energy, and I just need to feel it. So I'll be like, I don't like you, ignore you, whatever. Yeah, you right there, you. And that's the way I am. So I do believe that I need to open up a little more. But the one time I did open up, it was pretty cool, right? So there was this guy on Facebook that I was in a Facebook group with, and then we became Facebook friends or whatever. And politically, we did not agree on anything. Like, we are on opposite ends of the spectrum on everything. And we just disagreed about everything. And so I was like, I don't like him. Like, I don't think I like him, just not at all, just period, right? And so I made a post on Facebook about being open and dating guys who I wouldn't normally date. And he hit me in my inbox. And he was like, well, since you don't like me, I'm coming to town, why don't I take you out and you discover what it is that you don't like about me? So I went on a date with him, right?
Nice.
And the date was cool, and he was amazing, and all this stuff, right? But I did not go through his Facebook page because I was just like, I don't like him anyway. Whatever. This just gonna be some whatever, right? But he was honest. So we had an amazing date. We talked from like 8 until 1 in the morning, just talking, just cool, whatever. But the Negro has a girlfriend and is in an open relationship, and she knew that he was on a date with me. So I was just like,
Wow.
He was supposed to tell you up front.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
but I didn't ask, and he thought that I knew because literally his girlfriend is all over his Facebook page. Like he wasn't hiding it, but I just didn't look. I'm busy, and I was like, I don't like him anyway, whatever.
Right.
But I'm glad that I went on the date, and the reason that I'm glad I went on a date was because it opened my mind to realize that I could like a person who I think I don't like, so I need to give people a chance. At least the first date, you know?
Right.
Okay, so now I want to do some word association. What does emotional intelligence mean to you in a relationship?
Being able to communicate how you feel, start a conversation, get stuff out on the table, and move on. Like, but being acknowledging your feelings and the other person's feelings.
Yes.
I think emotional intelligence also incorporates body language.
Mm.
If you're with a person every day, and you know when something is off. I do appreciate with the man I'm dating recognizing something's not right with me. And you know, with us, with most black women especially, we wear everything on our face. So
Yes.
when it happens, you're gonna break it down, and you're gonna be like, I'm fine. Emotional intelligence is driving too.
Right. I think a big thing for me is honesty and as you said, energy. You know, I'm a very spiritual person, so I have to be able to connect with you spiritually. But honesty is a big thing for me. So,
And clearly, I stated that up front. So
Yes.
yeah, honesty.
For me, emotional intelligence is consideration. Like, consider me, consider my feelings, care about my feelings, and take them into account with your actions. Because a lot of times, I want to go back to the narcissistic thing. A lot of times for men, it tends to be all about them, and they'll love you for how you make them feel instead of like what is it about me that makes you love me specifically? Just me, because if you look at all the other reasons that are in relation to you, anybody can make you feel that way. So I want somebody that's considerate. I want somebody that is really into me and not just how I make them feel. Just the opposite of a narcissist, you know.
Right.
All right, the next word is sensuality. What does that mean to you in dating and relationships?
The first thing that came to my mind was effort, right? And I know that's a weird one, but you know, first there's going to be the look. So there is just what my eyes see, what I see as sexy. Like, I'm gonna love a chocolate man. I'm gonna love a chocolate man with muscles and a bald head until the day I die. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, some of them I can't deal with, but I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it till the day I die. But if there is a certain level of effort that's put into the practicality of physicality, like, don't just expect every time we get together, like, it's just sex. Like, think about it. Plan something. Put a little bit of effort behind it. You know, send me a silly, happy, crazy meme about what month it is, because every month has some, you know, blowjob, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's try that out. But, you know, give me something.
Effort.
Give me energy. Give me effort that, you know, make sure there's never a Sahara. Like, we want rivers. We want the Nile. We want that at all points. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
Repeat that.
Sensuality. What does sensuality mean to you in dating and relationships?
Well, you got to be a man that can bring out my sensuality. That's one right there. Everybody can't bring it out. If you can bring it out, but yeah, sensual soul. That's nice. I'm picturing some sensuality right now.
Well, if nobody else wants,
I would say it's like the small things. If you're in line at a restaurant, he might just put his hand on your shoulder or rub your collarbone. It could be hand holding. And I'm a big nut about driving in the car together and you grabbing my hand. I really like when you do that.
Yes, I love that.
That is like really sensual to me. So that softness, that thing that just lets me know that you're there and you can't keep your hands off me, that's what I like.
Yes.
Put a small on my back. You're right, Ronda.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, show me that you can be vulnerable.
Yes.
You know,
Vulnerability is
yeah,
sensual.
it is. It really is. You know, I like the physical, and I'm with you. Like you like, but yeah, I want you to be vulnerable with me because you know it's hard for me to be vulnerable with someone else. So if you can bring that out of me, that's something that's big for me.
For me, I'm a sapiosexual, so long before we get to the bedroom, you have to make love to my mind. So just talk all that intellectual talk to me, and that will keep the juices flowing. There will never be a Sahara as long as a man makes love to my mind. And I need a man that pays attention to detail. I don't want to do a whole lot of talking. Yes, I'll communicate, but like when it comes to romance and physicality, pay attention to me because my body talks without my mouth saying a word. So if you pay attention to my body, you'll know what feels good and you'll know to go harder, to go softer, to keep going or to stop or to switch it up or whatever. Also, with attention to detail, I want a man to pay attention to every part of my body. Like, okay, I got titties, I got ass, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I have a collarbone. I have the back of my neck, you know?
Yes.
Erykah Badu, when she was like, I want somebody to walk up behind me and kiss me. That song, kiss me on my neck. You know what I'm saying? Breathe on my neck. It's the little things that just get me with sensuality. And the last word, and we kind of touched on it before, but I want to go deeper with it, provider. What does that word provider mean to you in love and relationships?
One thing that goes back to earlier, we were talking about our alpha males and security and, you know, being the man of the house. And women, you know, we hate the word submit and all that kind of stuff, but letting a man hold his place as being a man of the household. I like a man to be a provider. It just makes you just feel strong, look strong, you know. It brings out the feminine in me, and it brings out the feminine in most women, I believe, if a man plays his role as the provider.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think after that last crazy relationship, I kind of have the mentality that if you want to be the head of my household, you're going to have to pay for where I lay my head. Now, that doesn't mean that that's all of the things and you have to do all of the things because I don't have that expectation in 2020. Like, it's just that, let's be real. So that is not the expectation. But that one factor, it is. And it's one of the things that is a provider for me that symbolizes that. Beyond that, making sure that there is some level of, I'm traditional like Courtney, but that there is a balance here. So there's certain parts, like I still do certain things that are random. I'm going to garden, but I'm also going to have my guns. So certain things we have to balance out. You might have to go polish and clean those for me because I don't like to do that. But I'm still going to cook and I'm still going to do my other things. So there's a provider aspect has to do with not just my financial, but having the balance in life. Having the person that is the support. Having that backbone that has the skills and talents that I don't have or don't choose to use all the time.
Again, it's letting a man be a man. You know, I don't mind man being head of the household. I don't mind, you know, submitting because at the end of the day, I know he's going to have my best interest at heart, as well as, you know, me looking out for him. So for me, it's just a man being a man.
For me, a provider is more of a holistic thing. Like, I need you to provide for me spiritually, although I have my own wholeness, but compliment me, like you said, spiritually, emotionally, and of course, when it comes to financially, economically, whatever, you don't have to have it all. I could even make more money than you possibly, you know? If he can handle me making more money than him, I can even make more money than him. But to me, a provider is a man that makes things happen. So even if he does not know how to fix the car, he's going to make sure that the car gets fixed. He's going to call whoever he needs to call to make sure that the pipes in the house get fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to have all the skills. He doesn't have to be some mountain man who can hunt, shoot, and do whatever, you know, but just take that responsibility of making things happen. Like, if you're dating me and you come into my yard and walk up my steps and you see that my grass is this high, you coming over for some coochie, but you can't make sure that my grass gets cut.
Right.
These are things that I notice, and these are things that to me, okay, he's not a provider, or he doesn't see me in that light, so I need to not see him in the light that I possibly consider him in, you know?
Right.
All right, so we are finished with the word association. Ooh, let's talk about sex. Y'all ready to talk about sex?
Sure.
Okay, how do you communicate your needs and wants sexually, and when did you learn that part of yourself?
Oh, I just tell people. You know, I'm a Scorpio, like Scorpio with all of it.
Oh, you're not playing.
All of it.
You're not
like,
playing.
Yes. So I think that's a part for me, and in the same capacity that I want that in return, I give that. So I don't want someone who has to guess what it is that I like. I'll say it. If I don't say it explicitly, I'm going to say it with my movements. I'm going to say it with my sounds. I'm going to say it in other capacities. So, you know, yeah, no, I don't think it's a hidden thing. And I also have taken the time to get to know my body. I've done my whole experiment of my life, so I know what I appreciate and what I don't. And you know, that's just it's a courtesy. Like I want to have fun. I want to have the most fun I can. So yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm over 40, so you know, I'm living my best sexual life right now.
Exactly. You in your prime, honey.
You know, I like to have fun. I like to. It doesn't always have to be traditional for me. You know, I'm open to new things. You know, things I've been like, oh, I don't know about that. Now I'm like, okay, let's go.
Let's try it. Yeah.
So, you know, I have nothing. It's nothing wrong for me to be open. So
Like, do tell, girl, do tell.
That's another podcast.
Actually, it's not, because we are definitely going to get there, but not another podcast.
But like you know, I communicate with my body. So, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't say a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, but, you know, I am going to, you know, communicate with you with my body. So.
All right.
I would say that sex is extremely important, and I would say that the age range of men you date often makes a difference. So if the person is younger and less fluid or experienced, then you have, you know, you'll talk a lot more. And then sometimes you'll have the same conversation if the person is too old, because they may be a little bit restrictive in their movements as well. Well, I don't do that, but you're going to do it today. So I think that it all is about healthy communication, the same way as you expect in the beginning, but also as you grow. I mean, sex changes as the relationship changes, it gets better. So, but it's extremely important, and necessary conversations have to be had.
I agree. Sex is very important with a relationship. I don't know how many last without it. You know, that's a major connection. And I'm a very in tune energy. I need that connection for orgasms. I need that connection to enjoy my whole evening, you know, with time with this person. As I've gotten older, I learned, you know, sometimes you're scared to say, not scared, but you know, hesitant to say things or make suggestions because you don't want to bruise a man's ego or whatever. But, you know, there are certain times softly to say it while you are in the mix of making love, or afterwards, you know, during just breakfast conversation and stuff. You know, next time, can you let me come first or something? You know what I mean? Or whatever's on your agenda. You know what I mean? We just say it in conversation, and usually that goes over very well. So just learning how to communicate if they don't, you know exactly what you may want.
For me personally, I don't like to do a whole lot of talking during the act. I talk with my body. I talk with my energy and things of that nature. This may sound mean, and it may not be fair, but because I'm an energy person, I feel like we have to vibe sexually initially. Like there has to be a certain level of vibe there. And if it doesn't feel right, I can't do it anymore. Like, and it's not a situation of coaching you or telling you or whatever. Like, if that vibe just was way off, then my spirit tells me that we aren't supposed to be doing this. But I do have conversations about sex, like prior to, like not right before, but just leading up to it in the dating process. And I will talk about it afterwards, not immediately afterwards, but like Courtney said, kind of gently, like, hey babe, next time or whatever, something like that. And I've discovered what I like just by being open. And I feel like even at 40 plus, like I still have a lot more growing to do sexually, and I'm excited about it.
With your
I just got to find my little boo cake who I can do all that stuff with. But boy, when I find him some things, I'm going to do to that man, okay? All right. Now, we have to talk about another elephant in the room. In 2020, sexuality is now fluid. You have people that are on this whole spectrum of sexuality. Can you date a bisexual man?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, I know it.
No?
And I'm rude for saying it because I identify in the wonderful of the spectrum, and so I still say no.
Okay.
And, I've had the conversations with bi men. I've had, conversations with gay men. I've had conversations all throughout the nice rainbow. I tell people all the time, that Dave Chappelle little skit, that's real. That's real. That's very, very real for the
really,
community.
Really real.
And so, it's an interesting conundrum because it means for me I have to acknowledge the fact that there might be parts of me that are not as mature as I would like for them to be in my saying no. Because I should be, given, the fact that I've had my own experiments of life in terms of, figuring out where I sit even on this spectrum, where I feel comfortable, where I don't feel comfortable, to say that I would limit a man from being able to do that, and specifically that I know for me that it would be a black man that I am limiting and saying, okay, here's another box for you. You can't, society says you can't do this, this, and this, and oh yeah, don't go examine your sexuality either. Like none of these things are for you.
Right.
That feels exceptionally rude. It definitely does. And I definitely recognize, the part of me that can't comport that with my feelings about myself, my feelings about my community, my feelings about all of the wonderful work that is being done for acceptance of a specific community, a set of people, and specifically the subset of black people within the rainbow. So I know that, but at the same time, mentally for me, there is a whole, as a woman, you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, so now I know you have a desire, a sexual desire for both. Now, you still can love me as the person that I am. That is why you choose me. But men still cheat a whole goddamn lot.
They do.
So, now I got to consider the fact that you could cheat. Okay, like, fine. And so, there's a part of me that as a 40-plus-year-old woman is also at the space where I'm like, I don't want to have this as an extra thought. I don't want to have it as an extra consideration, because it's been enough for me to make sure that I'm not jaded and still enjoy this process of love and dating and all of these different things, and will still allow that vulnerability. So if I'm adding on another layer, am I really doing myself a service, or is it okay for me just to have a preference and be okay with it? And I've chosen that I got a preference, and that's it.
Yeah, no.
You said yeah, no.
I was like, nah,
No explanation, just no.
I consider myself to be mostly progressive. But I have not gotten there in my head in that area either. It's a no for me. It's a hard no. And I don't feel that makes me homophobic. It may make me limited in my thinking. It may mean that I have some growing to do. But I don't have any phobia about it. It's just in my head, I can't reconcile. I'm just like, we can't both suck dick. Like it just, that's that's not going to work for me.
Right.
And that's where I am with it.
Yeah.
All right. So I now want to talk about courting, like dating and courting. In this new era, we have something called pre-dates, where instead of taking you out to dinner, instead of taking you on a full date, a guy wants to kind of see whether he wants to spend that much time with you and see whether he wants to spend that much money on you. So he says something like, why don't we do coffee? Why don't we meet at Starbucks or the local coffee shop or what have you? Are you down with the pre-date?
So April, where they came from was from online dating.
Right.
Because people didn't want to engage and waste time, money, or just not get along at the table. That's where that all started, was the meetup at Starbucks. I won't do it. I mean, I think it's a way, because if we go somewhere and I don't like you, I can still afford to pay for my own food. I'm going to have a good time regardless. I just may not like you. So
Right.
I won't participate in it, but I absolutely know that it is a thing.
If I'm out already, like, and I'm gonna be passing by, I'll go along, I'll allow it, I guess. But beyond that, like, I'm not going to decide to, right. I'm not deciding to put in effort, because men don't have the same level of effort to decide they're going out on a date with us. They just don't.
We have to get cute.
We have to cute.
Yeah.
You're going to do those different things because I'm looking at my fellow panelists. We are well put together women. So you're not just, oh yeah, I'm just rolling out of bed, I'm gonna go see. No, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
So there is effort that's there, and I feel the same way as Rhonda. Like, we can go, we can have meetings. I've done that before. Like, this isn't working, and there's a party over here. Like, there's a whole bar. So why don't we close this out? And we can go, I will wing woman for you. Like, you could be my wingman, but this is not working.
Right.
So that's okay. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't have the time. I really
I
don't.
don't either.
I don't have that kind of time. I really don't. Either we are or we not. You know, if you like me and you're gonna court me, I expect you to court me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. No, I ain't doing no half-ass stuff. I'm sorry.
I'm not doing a pre-date either.
Now, during the quarantine, I have said, because I do my online stuff, I have been like, hey, we're going to have to Zoom first or something, because I'm not taking my extra chance just to come out with you. Right, like,
I'm not risking it.
I need to see that you are who you are. And like, we have at least a little bit of a spark of some chemistry for a couple seconds, and then I'm like, oh, okay, now that would be better. But yeah, before that, no.
Well, even prior to quarantine, like, I'm a risk taker. So if we're going on a date, we going on a date.
Right.
And if it's a bad date, then we're adults. We can be honest, like you said, and say, you know what, I'm not feeling the vibe. This isn't working. Why don't we close this out early? But I'm going to take the chance. But I just feel like, once again, as far as setting standards, and it's not even about money, but it is about effort. It's like, okay, if I'm not gonna get dressed and put on lipstick and put on my heels and all that stuff, because the knees don't work like they used to. So when I put on heels, it's a commitment. You know what I'm saying? So I am making a commitment to meeting you. The least you can do is make the commitment to a real date. I don't do pre-dates.
Some of the pre-dates I've had is lunch. You can do lunch at that same restaurant, but you know, we make it a lunch date. And I'm with Rhonda. That little coffee thing started with online dating, and if I'm talking to you already, and you want to see me in person, then you really want to see me in person.
Right. And we have a caller, so I'm super excited about that. Hello.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I was listening to the podcast earlier, and it was talking about what women want.
Yes.
And I feel like the women want a real man, but a lot of men are actors now, so women fall for that, and they don't really, they still stuck with not knowing what they really want.
What is your name?
My name is Leslie.
I can't hear it. What did he say? Wesley?
Lesty.
Lefty.
Lefty.
Okay, Lefty. Well,
Yes.
I think that just because men may be actors doesn't mean that women don't know what they want. We can want what we want, and we may think we're getting what we want, and it could be fool's gold, but I don't think that impacts what we know that we want. But you were right. Like, it's not just men, though. People can be actors. Because there's a lot of women out here faking it, too.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so very much for that call. And my little chain, hold up. I was trying to be cute, but my little chain is messing up the sound. So we just gonna bring it around like so. All righty, thank you so much for that call. And now we are gonna talk about being, quote unquote, I hate the term because I think that it's so cliche, and I think that if you're really alpha, you don't have to say it. Like, people will tell you that, or people will respond to you a certain way, but for lack of a better term and for the sake of the conversation and working definitions, we are all alpha females sitting here. Do you find it challenging dating as an alpha female? Do you find that men sometimes feel threatened by you or can't handle dating your personality type?
Yes. And I would also add that it's difficult to go into any situation with an expectation to be treated a certain type of way. So really what they're not dealing with the fact that I'm an alpha female. They're dealing with the fact that I have an expectation and a standard of living. That is what's offensive to them, because you can't come to me half-assed. Like you said earlier, you treat yourself a certain type of way.
The way I want to be treated.
So I'm not going to allow you to give me whatever else someone else went for when I know that I deserve more. That's all. But it's not the alpha female, it's just knowing that you deserve a lot more than what this person may be used to kicking out.
I would have to
And
agree.
they want to make you feel wrong for that.
Right.
Yeah,
honey,
Right.
yes.
I would have to agree, because oftentimes when you do have those expectations, you're immediately labeled as a bitch. And at the end of the day, no, that's not who I am. Who I am is a person that knows what I want. I know how I want to be treated. And if you can't do that, then you can just move on. I'm not the person for you. But even with me being in media, which is a male-dominant business, a lot of times they want to look at it as, oh, okay, well, you going to meet. I meet with all types of people. I talk with all types of people. And I don't need you to sit up here and look at me as if I'm going out and I'm doing something I ain't supposed to, or I'm...
Insecurity.
Yeah, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with your insecurities at all. That's just not who I am.
I feel like, and this is a purposeful thing, there are parts that I adjust in terms of going home, right? Because I know for sure the level of alpha that I am, the level of cuss out, flip out, I'm gonna have to like rip somebody's head off that I occasionally have to do for clients is not conducive to really anybody else seeing that expects that I'm gonna love them. It bothers my mama. So,
Right.
you know, there are parts that adjust for relationships, and they were just for my home life and for the benefit of my home life. Beyond that, I don't make any excuses, and I don't think that we should make excuses for being, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's the being aggressive, the being aggressive about life in all of its forms, your health, your wealth, your business, your family, your God, everything. And having that joy, and that's what's often perceived as being alpha, because I mean it is on a lot of levels.
Right.
That work, that drive, that tenacity, that persistence. But I don't feel like that should be counter to being a partner, because that is what you want, right? At least it's what I want.
Right.
So, you know, I'm looking for that. Having to temper that back is my choice for certain things. But beyond that, I don't choose to, wouldn't change it, don't want to change it, because I know that's what's going to make a great partnership for me.
Have you had difficulty, though, in dating?
Absolutely.
Do you think men have been intimidated by you or even somewhat jealous?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also goes back to when Courtney said that she wouldn't date people who aren't in the position that she's in. That hit me like she kicked me through the Zoom right now, because literally that's a thing. Saying that, you know, it's great to invite someone to your home. It's great that I'm single, I go to Costco, but I don't need you eating my food. I don't need, you know, all of these things that are part and parcel to the work that I do. If this is not part and parcel to what you do, then I can't elevate you in that capacity, not on all things. I'm happy to help. I'm happy. Look, I done looked at enough free contracts in my life that I don't. Please, no man ever dates me again. Don't ask me for that shit. But anyway, no. But like I've looked at enough stuff, done enough stuff that shouldn't be a consideration. But there also shouldn't be a resentment factor, because I think that's what happens when there's not that balance off. There is a resentment. There is this thought that happens within a man's head. And I don't want to add anything else that's going to be part of your crutch to not being able to progress to your full potential in this world, such that you're sitting here competing with me in a household. Absolutely not. This doesn't make sense. So yes, it has been an issue. It has been more of a quiet issue, or people who have diminished. When not, in the beginning of practice, it was the older men who were like, oh, so how long you going to do this law thing? Okay, can't date you no more. Like those things that happen. As it became more mature, it's the folks that are like, oh, okay, so you don't know how to talk to people. No, I do. I don't know how to be talked to or dealt with in a manner that is beneath me. That is beneath me emotionally. None of these things. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to change that part of me. So, yes. Or you decided you were going to talk to me before 5 o'clock. And that's, one of the two. And after that, then I'm like, I'm fine. But, yes, the problems are gonna happen with someone who is not fully mature, emotionally mature, ready to deal with the fact that you're going to have someone who wants to progress, who wants to do good things, that sometimes there is going to be the moment where you're in the audience and applauding. But know for everything on this planet, when I'm in the audience, I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader that is ever there. I got pom-poms, I got tambourines. I might bring out everything. It'll be a go-go band sitting in the audience.
Yes.
But occasionally, I'm going to need the same thing. And that's where there's a disconnect that generally happens when you sit in that alpha seat.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for me, because I find that what attracts men to me is the same thing that repels them. And I think that men love the idea of me. They love this outspoken, this energetic, this quote unquote, and I'm putting it in quotations for a reason, this wild woman, this, because I am free. I am free. And I want a partner, but I want a partner like us to be like two wild Mustangs running together. I don't want anybody that's going to try to clip my wings, that's going to try to contain me. And yes, I do understand. Oh, okay. Look. Hold up. This is live, so let me go ahead and take this off. They say style will kill you. All right. So I do want that person that I can be my complete and utter self with respect to them and with consideration of them. And what I find so often is people are attracted to April. And I'm a very honest person. I tell you up front, I'm a Taurus. You don't have to wonder with me. Tauruses lay it all out. We say, this is who I am. This is how I am. This is what I require. This is what I can give. This is what I am not capable of. And nobody believes me when I say it. No. they do not believe
I'm a fellow
me.
Taurus too.
And I'll get a guy, and he'll love it until he doesn't love it anymore. Right. And then it's like, oh, well, I want you to be like Betty Homemaker, and that is not me. Exactly. Will I cook for you? Yes. Will you get that every day? Home cooked meals every day? It's not going to happen, because I am busy. And I feel like, especially with the entertainment and the quote unquote fame aspect, men get really, really resentful with that. Men get really, really jealous with that. And no matter how much coochie you give, no matter, because they feel inadequate in a certain way, like they'll go cheat. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do, because I love alpha males. And I once had an alpha male tell me, a man that has a certain amount of stuff going on, and that's an alpha male, he's not going to find that alpha female stuff as a turn on. And I was just like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, maybe I need like an uber alpha, like a Jay-Z who's okay with Beyonce being B.
Right.
Because I don't feel like I need to, and I'm definitely not going to, alter myself or change myself for a relationship. I will operate with consideration of my man, but to just change and be a whole nother person, it's not going to happen.
Right.
All right,
You know,
and
if you're in relationship, neither party should be asking the person to change. And
Exactly.
especially at this stage, you see who this person is. So what did attract you but people are human. You reminded me of a story, still the conversation I was talking to my girlfriend last night, of this guy I dated probably like 15 years ago or something. Uber rich, $400 million like worth on Google. You know what I mean? He ain't tell me that. I Googled it. But, a lot come with that. He wanted me to have his kids, settle down, but he was crazy. So no. But what I was gonna say is that when we first started dating, he was like, Courtney, nobody talks to me like this, because I'll be slick at the mouth. You know what I mean? Like I say what I want to say. Now I'm a Cancer, so I may hold stuff in for a while, especially in a relationship, and then I'll like blow up and let everything out. But when I'm comfortable in early stages with people, I just talk to you like how I'm gonna talk to you, you know. And he could not believe. He was like, Courtney, people don't talk to me like this, but he loved it. That's what so turned him on, because everybody around him was a yes man.
Right.
However, that is the thing. After a year, that got on his damn nerves.
Exactly.
Courtney, people don't talk to me like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you can't win for losing. But I didn't want that one anyway. I couldn't have dealt with him. He was crazy.
I think it's
Trust
so.
me, I
I
get
think
it.
it's so important. And you know, like I said again, sometimes, you know, when I was in a marriage, I was somebody's wife. I was somebody's mother. Even though, you know, I had my own business, I had my own career, I was still somebody's wife. I was still somebody's mother, and I started losing who I was.
yeah.
So it didn't occur to me who I really was, or get back to who I was, until after my divorce. And I had to step back and be like, oh wow, I'm still somebody's mom, but I'm no longer somebody's wife. And so now I gotta realize, what does April want? What do I require of my, you know, I had to relearn
Yourself.
me. And I think a lot of women, they look at relationships, or they look at marriage as you taking on that person, but no, you can't lose who you are.
Yep.
And it's so easy to do. So when you have to maintain and have to continually keep that in the forefront of your mind.
Well, I'm getting the wrap-up sign, so I'm going to ask one more question. We are Black women, so we have to close talking about Black love. What is your perspective on Black love for yourself and Black love overall? Are you hopeful? Are you pessimistic?
I'll start. It's up and down, honey. I be having them days like, Lord, I ain't gonna find nobody else for the rest of my life. And then sometimes I am very optimistic. You know, I know I'm a good catch.
Yes.
Just waiting on God, is there wait on it? But it gets disheartening out in these streets, especially when you focus on your thing and you like, I have doubts, and I just try to keep the faith and know that, you know who I am, as we say. Sometimes you go back and forth, but maybe I'm being too picky, or maybe I need to open up my box and all that. But it's like, you know what? I guess God gonna send it to me when He gonna send it to me.
Exactly.
Lord, hurry up, though, for real.
It seems like on those most disheartening days, that's when the Explore page is filled with all this blank love crap, and I'm like, I can't get away from it. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Yes.
Like, I ain't doing this. I ain't never dating again. Can't go this person. They just got married. Ooh, look at these
All the
people.
wedding rings.
Listen, I'm over it. So I need to throw my phone across the room. I'm all for blank love. I hope it works out for somebody. Amen.
Works out for somebody.
I'm hopeful. You know, I think all of us have mentioned at least one random singles group or something like that. When you're in or listening or seeing those conversations, it gets scary because there is a lot of contention between the sexes. And
Black
it
men and
seems
Black
like,
women.
Black men and Black women are at each other in a capacity that I don't think I've ever seen. Maybe it's because of technology, so it's something that can, occur at this point. But, I'm hopeful that at a certain point we will have an awakening amongst ourselves, recognize how powerful we are together, recognize how much can be done together, recognize that it's a necessity for our community, for our kids, all of that we actually do work together, that we do partner, that we do have these successful marriages and relationships. So I hope there. I stick around my friends that are married. I encourage them. I'm praying for. Hey, look, all y'all. I'm praying for all of y'all because I know, like, I need those examples. I want to see that. I want us to win.
Right.
For myself, yes, I'm hopeful too. Like I'm like Ronda. I look at the page sometimes and explore, and some of the couples with like the cute little Instagram families, and I'm like, oh, the baby's so cute. My uterus is doing flip. Oh my God, I can't lust after nobody husband. Jesus, what happened? Like, all of it, like all happening all at the same time.
Yes.
And I know, because we're all women of faith, like. I didn't come to this path. I didn't have this desire in my heart. I didn't have this burning in my soul. I didn't go get my fibroids taken out in March. I didn't do none of that stuff.
I gotta handle all of that too, honey.
Right. So, none of these things are the case for there not to be the fulfillment of this part of purpose and the fulfillment of this part of plan and this desire of my heart. So, hopeful all around, sometimes a little nervous, but very hopeful.
I love love. I love Black love. I love seeing it. Even when I see my friends get married, I'm like, hey, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Am I personally looking to be married again? Maybe, maybe not. If it happens, fine. But if it doesn't, I'm still okay. Because I'm just comfortable with being with me, or just being with my kids, or dating, or or my business. I think I'm okay where I am in my life. But I do want the partnership. I do want that person I can bounce stuff off of. I guess, like I said, I'm hopeful, but I just love love. So
Yeah. Well, I am a hopeless romantic, so I am definitely hopeful about Black love overall. I do think that there's definitely that contention that Kendell spoke of. But here's something that I noticed. Because of the current racial tensions in this country as a result of the Trump administration, I do believe that I'm seeing Black men and Black women move more towards each other than we have in previous years, like very many years. And so I'm hopeful on that aspect. And I'm also hopeful for myself, even though one of my best friend's dad was a Marine, and he's been all around the world. And I'm a little different. Like, I've always been the one that's like a little different from all my friends or from everybody else. And my best friend's dad said to me, you're going to end up with like a European white man or some international man, because they're going to get you and they're going to understand you. And I've dated across the gamut, but I love Black men. I prefer Black men. And I want to wake up to a Black man's face. Like, granted, I will yield to love. So whoever I love, whatever they look like, I'm not going to fight it. But I pray to God that I end up with a Black man, because yes, I've dated across the gamut, but there's nothing like the soul of a Black man. There's nothing like just the physique of a Black man, that skin, and then knowing that he goes through the same things that I go through in the world, and certain things like what's understood need not be explained. Certain things, like certain aspects of my pain and my experience in this world, I don't want to have to explain. And I don't have to explain that with the Black man. So I am hopeful for a Black man, but I will love any man. All right, this has been phenomenal. Thank you so very much, Courtney Black. Thank you so very much, Miss Craig.
Thanks for having me. I love you.
Love you back. Girl, you gotta hurry up and get back to DC, because I need you at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. We gotta hang out. Yes,
I'm coming. Girl, we had a date in June. I had a date in June actually. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
When this is over, stage is opening up. I'll be there.
Yes. All right. Courtney Black, my girl, Ronda Brunson, aka the Credit Queen. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Kendell Renee Kelly, my girl, and my other girl, Miss April J. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like this, share it, subscribe. Please share it. We need all of this to go viral. This is an amazing conversation. And of course, you can still get it popping in the comments. We'll see you next Tuesday at 8. It's Ego. Everybody's got one, the show about opinions.
I can't.